So welcome everybody to this Helpful Village release webinar of February 19th, 2025. We have the usual agenda, reminders, news, new features, and then a discussion Q&A at the end. So we start with the reminders. This is a release webinar where we're explaining new changes and modifications we have added to the software this month. There's going to be another Helpful Village release webinar next month, and that would take place on March 19th, which is the third Wednesday of the month. Next week, also we have a webinar, which is probably going to be February 26th. There's a Q&A webinar, and then there's another one in March. And then we have some other reminders. We have a Helpful Village training docs guide with where you can find all the training docs organized as a table of content. There is a help center that you can find under support.helpfulvillage.com. And then there is a Slack collaborative website where you can have a discussion with other villages and our team, asking questions, suggestions, or improvement for ideas. So Slack is for discussion. The help center is for our training docs. So as I just said, we have a Q&A webinar next week. This week we're speaking because we have new changes and announcements to make. Next week it's you speaking. So if you have questions we want to discuss with us, you ask the questions and we answer them next week at the same time on Wednesday, 26th, at the same time. So it's 11 a.m. Pacific, and you can send your questions ahead of time to this email address, which is hvusers@helpfulvillage.com. When you send your questions ahead of time, we have time to organize them and prioritize them and then put them in a order that makes sense. It gives us more time to think about the best answers possible. So please send your questions ahead of time to this email address. This is a print screen of the Help Center that you can find under support.helpfulvillage.com. And this is also how you can submit tickets when you have a bug or a problem with the software. You go to this page on the top right, you see this red square around submit a request. When you hit on that button, that allows you to type a question or submit a ticket. There are two websites. One is support.helpfulvillage.com, is where you find support, submit bugs or problems or issues you're having with the platform. If you're suggesting new improvement ideas, you do that on a different website, and that is ask.helpfulvillage.com. And I'm thinking about Dorothy because I'm speaking way too quickly. We have a couple of recommendations when you are submitting your tickets. If you can think of these few things, that really helps. If you can use a clear and descriptive title for the ticket. Sometimes we get tickets with a title that says something like, "Oh, we have a problem, issue, needs attention," but makes it more complicated to find a solution if we don't remember what that ticket is about. So if you can put in the title what the problem is about, and then also if you can provide specific details. Sometimes we have tickets submitted to us that say, well, there was a problem or there was an issue, but that doesn't give us a lot of information about how to investigate the problem. So if you can give us the precise details about what the problem was, you can give us for what the name of the member or the email address of the member that had a problem, or the indication about the event or the service request, and then also how to reproduce the issue. So basically, what were you doing, on what button did you press when a problem happened? All of those things help us solve the issues quicker. And you can also consider adding screenshots, so that helps us understand where the problem is, and then we can fix it a lot quicker. There is also the possibility to set up automatic payments for your village monthly invoices. If you're doing this, well, it's saving time to you. It's also saving time to us. If you have not done it, I know Anastasia is organizing all these meetings with customers to set up automatic payments for your invoices, so that you can contact her or open up a ticket and she will do that with you. Okay, and now we're done with the reminders. Let's move on to some news. First is we were made aware of a grant opportunity for villages. So AARP has its 2025 Community Challenge Grant Program that is now open. There is an application deadline for March 5th, 2025 at 5 p.m. And then they have three different types of grants: flagship grants, capacity building micro grants, demonstration grants. You can find more information about that on aarp.org/community challenge. but we read the conditions, and then it seemed to us that these grants would totally apply for villages. So you can read the conditions and eventually apply to those. Now we are adding, this is more helpful village news. We added a new training document. We received we should be doing this more often, but basically we received a ticket asking how can we split a service request. So it's a good question. You can split it because you can have a service request that has more than one ride. This is specifically for transportation service requests. So if a person needs to go to the hospital and then needs to go to the lab to pick up some other lab results and then go back home, a service request can have multiple legs, and then you can create it as a single service request if a volunteer wants to do all of those things. But you can also set it up in a way so that you can split a service request and have two different service requests if you have different volunteers that are going to take them. And Anastasia created a training document explaining how to split that service request. So you can go to the help center, right? Or you can click on this link, support helpful villages / and then go to this specific training document. Or you can go to the help center and just search how to split a service request, and you will go to the service request where all these things are explained, how to create a service request, then open it, add a trip, split the request, and assign the requests to the different volunteers that are doing that. So you can find that information on the help center. And now we're moving on to release notes. So these are the changes and improvement we added to the software. We're adding to the software this month. And I'm saying we are adding them because they have been added to the software, but they are not on the server, on your server yet. So we announce these changes first so that you're aware of the fact that they're coming. The plan is that we're deploying these changes to your server this weekend. So between the 20th and the 23rd of February, these changes will be visible on your platform. So if you go there and you don't see them today, it's normal because we haven't put them there yet. We inform you about them before we put them on the server. And at this point, I think Jim from Taos has a question because he's raised his hand. So I'll pause here for a second.
So in your help file about split service requests, could you please clearly define what you mean by splitting a service request so that my grandmother would understand it? Thank you.
Yes, absolutely. I went a little quick on that one, but I can do that with you. So you go to support.helpfulvillage.com and then how to split a service request in Helpful Village. If you click on this one, you have all the information here. Splitting a service request allows villages to assign different parts of a service request to separate volunteers. So I'd suggest maybe I can copy this in the chat. If I can actually, you know what? Yes, I can find the chat. I don't know how to find the chat. So maybe it's easier, Anastasia, if you can put this link on the chat. And then Jim, if something is unclear on the training document, you can obviously write back to Anastasia with any suggestion or changes if this is not clear enough. But yeah, this is it looks pretty nice. Thank you, Jim. I'll go back to the release notes here. And then we're going to start discussing the changes. This one is really easy to understand, but I'm going to show it. Is the events calendar that is one of the most used features on Helpful Village. We hadn't noticed, but we have our friends in Eastside Village that noticed this one thing. When we were going to the events calendar, and this is on your service today, you can have all the different events on a calendar view. But what we were doing before is that we were not showing all the events. When there were a lot of events, you had to scroll like this, and some of them were hiding here, and that is a little annoying. So this is what you have on your service today, and the improvement is that we removed that scrolling because that scrolling is useless and there is nothing at the bottom. So we did this with this site is that from this weekend, when you go to your own calendar, you have a lot of events, you don't need to scroll anymore. When you're scrolling down under the page, but it's not scrolling within the calendar. I don't know if you notice the difference, but here, when I do this, it's scrolling the page. You see the bar on the right-hand side. And then when I do it on the current version that you have, if I scroll on the page, then there is still more stuff there is a double scroll. There is a scroll of the page and a scroll of the calendar, and that is really annoying. So we are thankful because I never noticed that. because in demo we don't have that many events, but just Dennis from East Side just found this out, and then we changed the settings. So now your calendars will only have one scrolling bar, which makes it a lot more usable. So that's just usability, but it's really important. There is another change that in events that this one made me laugh because we introduced a new change recently that I'm going to show you here in demo, right? So we wanted this page to load quicker, showing the list of events. So what we do is what's called infinite scroll. So when you go down, we have, now imagine that we want to add a new event here, okay? So I scroll down and at the bottom of this page, there is the new event page, but we added this improvement so that we are auto-loading new events. You see the list of events gonna expand. So it got really hard to get to the bottom of this page because when I want to click on this button, it goes away. So that was an unintended consequence of the fact that this auto-scrolling, so the auto-scrolling is really good because it allows this page to load a lot quicker. And then if you need to look further into the future, it automatically loads more events. So that is really useful. But the improvement here is that we made a usability change so that you don't need to chase down the new event button with the auto scroll. So from now on in the new version, when you come here under the list of events, if you're logged in as an admin, you will see this link here at the top and with this arrow. And when you click on it, it contains the admin features of this page. So you have new event, you can have the edit intro. So the exact same buttons you had at the bottom, but that now they are here at the top. So you don't need to be scrolling down and fighting with the auto scroll here to chase down these buttons. So these buttons are now at the top. Let's go back to this other improvement. Next improvement, this is mailing labels. When you go to people management groups, we can do that together because people management groups, I know there's a question, but give me a second. People management, I need to move my windows. People management groups, there you go. You can pick up any group here, active members, for example, and then you see all the members that are in there. And there is a button at the bottom here that says mailing labels. And these mailing labels, we did two things. First, it's like we changed the name of the button. So now it says mailing labels Avery 5160. And I guess you're all aware of that. But basically, these mailing labels, you can purchase them at paper shop. And then basically, it's Avery 5160 is one format where you have 30 stickers, 3 columns, and then 10 rows, etc. And then basically, if you click on this button, Help of it is going to produce the labels so that you can print them on this stickers page, and then it makes it a lot easier to send your snail mail messages out. So the mailing labels feature existed before, but what we did is that we reviewed it because we were adjusting the margin so that I think we were not printing in the right square, and now we just moved the text a little bit so it fits better this format. And we also included the name of the format is Avery 5160 in the name of the button so that you purchase the right stickers, because there are stickers of different sizes and stuff like that. And this is something we did also with this type. And Kathy, you're raising your hand, so I don't know if you had a comment about these mailing labels or something different.
Are these the changes that you're going to make this coming weekend, or should it look like this now?
We put it for you because you had opened this ticket, so it's available to you now, and it's going to be available to all villages this weekend.
It's not showing up on my screen, and neither for the event listing in that admin button, I don't have a little arrow.
Yeah, so the little arrow is normal. You don't have it. That would come this weekend. So so the only thing we did put for you was these mailing labels, and then when you click on
it just says mailing labels PDF.
Yeah, the button. Yeah, no, yeah.
It doesn't say 5160.
Yeah, I know the name of the button. We didn't put it for you, but the printing margins and stuff like that, it is there for you. So you can. So let's do this, Kathy.
I already did test it. I did test it and it worked.
Oh, it works. Perfect. So this is live news for everybody on the webinar. So we have the right size, and then the name of the button will come to you, Kathy, this weekend. So we have live confirmation of a new feature that is working. This is beautiful. Okay, so let's move on to the next one. A slide. Okay, so this is another improvement. This improvement is something we did for events. So when you go to the list of participants of your event, you can check who's coming, who registered for the event, and you can also manage the presence list. So those that are used to, events management, they recognize this screen. And then in this screen, there is an admin feature at the bottom that is send event reminder emails to participant now. So you can there is an email reminder that goes automatically the day before. But if for any reason you want to send manually an event reminder for a specific event, you can use this button. This button is not new. It was there before. But what happened is that we have coded it for a small list of participants, like you see here, there is one person. But then we were working, I think this was Beacon Hill, and they had a very big event with, I don't know if it was hundreds of participants. And that was a lot of participants and a lot of reminder emails. So they were getting a timeout page. So we just made an improvement so that if it's a small list of participants, it sends the messages right away. And if it's a long list of participants, then we just put it in the background task and then just take the time and there is no more error message. So it's just an improvement of sending the same email where we were sending before, but now it can handle longer lists of participants. Okay, next improvement. Now this is actually the explanation of the same one. So this is what I just said orally, is that we made some code modifications for system performance, so that when we're sending those reminder emails for a large number of participants, there is no more time issues. So I'm just laughing because this is Anastasia wrote this, and it sounds a lot better than what I said, but we're saying the same thing. Next thing is another improvement. So there is a premium feature about village maps that allows you to put your members and volunteers on a Google Maps, basically, and then find a member or a volunteer geographically. This is particularly useful if you're doing emergency preparedness. And we had village maps before. The change we introduced, and we did this with Love Living at Home in Ithaca, New York, is that it was useful for them to add the possibility to have editable content at the bottom of that page. So I'm going to show that actually. If we go here or here, it's not here, so I need to find it. Admin, village maps. And the village maps is also visible to members and to your active members, but with not as many features, etc. But basically the change is that we have this possibility to display the map showing where your members are, your local coordinators are, where your different neighborhoods are. All of that is visible. We had that before. The new change is that now you can add at the bottom of this page some additional explanations if you need to provide additional information about emergency preparedness or something. All this content page at the bottom of the village maps page is an addition we are adding this month. So you can come here and it is an editable page. You click on this, and then it's a regular HTML editor where you can add or remove content and then add fonts or changes like that. And then when you save it, it is basically a editable page that is at the bottom of the village maps page.
Yeah, thank you, Manuel.
Hey, Tina, this is what Tina's idea. Jim, you have a question. You raised your hand.
Yes, we've had village maps for a while, and they are neighborhoods, but
yes.
I noticed that each neighborhood is now considered a hub village, and that adds apparent work for our volunteers, for our office folks. Is there a way to get neighborhoods without considering them to be hub villages?
It's a great question. It's an advanced question. So, neighborhoods is the spokes. So it's the same. Now, my question to you, Jim, would be, and maybe we can do this offline because there's a lot of people on this call, is understanding why these neighborhoods or these spokes was annoying to your office people, because there is not a lot of consequences to it.
But when I add a service request, it says what village, what hub or what spoke is involved. And it turns out it's not necessary to specify, but I can't train all of our volunteers to simply ignore what you have put on the page.
Yeah. Okay, so Jim, I suggest we discuss this offline because it is such an advanced topic that a lot of people on the call will not follow. But I think we have made some changes so that you can create the service request, and whatever the spoke it is, you have a new setting where basically a volunteer can take service requests from any spoke, or another setting if you want to have volunteers only seeing their service requests in their spoke. So maybe that problem that you're mentioning, it went away. But it's such an advanced question that we really need to discuss it, offline. But
Okay.
yeah, can get on Zoom.
Okay.
But then, okay, now summarizing, also, Jim, you're absolutely right. These neighborhoods is something you can draw on the map, and these are different spokes. And the spokes relate to this term in the village movement that is called hub and spoke, and it's the possibility for several villages to share some resources where a hub is maybe the central office is managing different geographical locations. It's a super interesting topic. It's just a little bit too complex for now. Maybe we should do a training session specifically about hub and spoke one of these days too. Thank you for the question, Jim. It's a good question. Also, you can have village maps without the spokes. So if you want to have just your members and volunteers and display the village coordinators, you can have also the map without the neighborhoods if the neighborhoods are not meaningful to your operations. Okay, this is the editable text, and I just explained that. So basically, this is the top of that page, and this is the editor. So I just showed that in the demo. And I have one more improvement to share with you. And this is household invoices. And this is a change we did in collaboration with Beacon Hill Village. So I can tell you a little bit about this. So most villages across the nation, they do they're funded by membership dues and donations. But then Beacon Hill had this interesting model also, in addition to membership dues and donations, which is a fee for service where they can charge in agreement with their members for some added value services. So we can create an IOU, and basically the member is agreeing to pay the village for some additional services. And then these IOUs are invoiceable. So we can create an invoice and send it to the members, and the members can go online and pay those invoices. So we had that before. I'm going to show it actually on demo, so it's easier. So if I go to my profile, it's in my profile. I went to my mom's profile because I'm so used to do the demo with my mom. It doesn't matter. I can open my mom's profile. No, actually, it's not going to work what I'm saying. I actually need to go to my profile. Like I am connected. And actually in this, I don't know why I did this, but basically now on demo, I'm on a same household membership with my mom. So here and here, you see that we're both connected. The same associated member is my mom and myself. So now I'm connected here. If I go to my profile, I can see now all of you have this. So any person in your village that goes to my profile, they can see their agenda, and this agenda is showing service requests and events they're registered for, or service requests they agreed to do or receive. Their contact information, the membership information, volunteer, and there is a pay tab. And in this pay tab, you have open invoices for this member. There are paid invoices that this member has paid before. And the new improvement we added this month is that we added now the possibility to find open invoices and paid invoices for other household members. So basically, these are invoices that were created for me, Manuel, right? And these other invoices were invoices that were created for other household members. So you see this invoice was created for my mom because she's an associated member. So basically from now on, it is possible to pay my own invoices and also pay the invoices of my household members, which makes a lot of sense because it was creating some confusion before if one of the partners or husband and wife was not able to pay the invoices for the other people in the same household. So this is just a new addition, is that you can see household invoices from your my profile page. Okay, and that is the list of improvements of this month. I don't know if we have any questions, if anyone wants to see any of the things that I showed in a different way. And if there is no questions, we have a Q&A webinar next week, which is more dedicated to questions. So we can deal with that next week. I have one more slide to show because I have a reminder to make for all participants. And it's this reminder about the price increase that adjustment that we have discussed in previous webinars. And we received a question from one treasurer that was expecting our last invoice to show that price adjustment, because actually we had made this announcement that our new prices were from February 1st, 2025. But actually our first invoice, because we always send our invoices once the month is over or is done. So the prices for February 1st will go out on March 1st. So basically the next invoice that we're sending in a couple of days will contain the price adjustment. So so yeah, for those that were expecting the change in our invoicing before, just know that it's normal. This is the same announcement we had made, but only the changes will only be visible from March 1st. We added here a few links of the webinars where we discuss all these changes with all villages. And then from here, we move on to Q&A. And I see that we have 2 hands raised. And Dorothy, you went in first, I think. So if you want to unmute and ask.
Yes. I can't see the bios of our active members. And I went into the service support at Helpful Village and said, how can I see bios? And there was no reference. So
okay, cool.
Show me or tell me where I would ask that question.
Yeah, great question. So I would do this. I would go here. I would go to the member directory. You want to see the bios of other people, right?
Yes.
And then when you're here, if you click on the profile of the person that is interested. Okay, there are 2 things. If I'm an admin, I can see this, and then here the bio is I know it's a little hidden here. Wait, so let me do it slowly. It opened up the page for this other person, right? This is Christina. I scroll down, email, last name, date of birth. You are familiar with all these fields, and then you have the tags, and then there is this more link here that contains some additional fields. And if you click on more, we need to do something about this because we need to make this more visible. We're gonna move this more, but here you see the bio is visible here.
Yes.
And then quick note, salutation, race, ethnicity, gender. There are more fields here that are hidden. And it's a good thing that they're hidden because basically we don't want to have 20, infinite page, but we want to make that more button a little bit more visible. I think I wanted to move it up here so that you don't miss it as much.
Yes,
and then the other thing
already pointed it out to me once, and I forgot.
No, you're right. It's like a little bit stuck there in between 2 boxes, and it's not very visible. So we will move it for the next webinar. And then the other thing that I will show is that for each member, they are not admin, so they cannot find it there. But they can come here, and then they can go to my profile, click edit, and when they're editing, they can edit their own profiles themselves, their own bios themselves, right? So the admins can find it that way in the admin profile, but the users will be able to update their bio by themselves under my profile, edit, and then they can write their own bios here. And then the other thing that is also interesting is that if you are a member that is not an admin and you go through the member directory, it will open up a page where you can see the bio of this other person. It's not opening the admin profile because I don't have admin rights.
Oh, so everybody else can see it, but I can't because I'm an admin.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Yes. So if I want to see what others are seeing, should I just take myself off as an admin? And then log in again or something?
I would do that. Yes, I would speak with one of your friends so that they let you back in as an admin later. But yes,
one of the other admins. Okay.
Yeah. So you can do this. Yeah, I would search myself here. Should we be crazy and do it? I'm gonna be crazy and do it. I'm gonna go here. This is my profile. I can come here and I'm an active member, so it should be fine. I'm gonna remove my right. Don't do this actually in real life. This is way too dangerous.
I was wondering what would happen. Thank you for trying this.
So look, now I'm not an admin. I cannot search anybody. And then I can go to the members directory. And if you click on the members directory, it's loading. There you go. And then now if I go on Christina's page, you see, I see this other page that allows me to see the bio. If you're allowing in your settings to share the phone number and stuff like that, active members can see this information.
Fabulous. Okay. Now, can you make yourself an admin again?
I cannot do it. Anastasia, can you please help me?
So
No.
Dorothy, we have a test account that we set up with just one of our office emails. So we have a test account that is just a member, not an admin.
That's another way to do it.
Oh,
Less dangerous.
Yeah, I open up another window and do it.
okay. Well, we have a
Without
whole
logging
bunch of
in.
admins, so
Yeah.
yeah.
We
Okay.
do the same thing, but we also have a test volunteer. So with a different email address, so we can see what volunteers see on one account, what members see on another account, and then admins.
Okay.
Yes. Perfect. And then we can move on to the next question. This is Jim Ludden.
This is minor, but on your price increase slide, you showed an effective date of 22/1/2025. That's the European. That's the European convention, and not the American convention.
You're right.
I tend to avoid that method entirely and spell out the month. I use like 22 February because of this horrible confusion.
I know, it's a great point. I just updated that without thinking, and I went for the European format, and it is a mess, actually. I mean, it's a mess for Europeans when we come here. Sometimes we have the dates coming one way or the other.
Well, yes. Americans seem to want to do things differently. We don't really use the metric system either.
Yeah, why would you? Let's not open up that discussion. The metric system is awesome. I'm for it. Sorry, Liz. You're coming up next. I don't know why am I having so much fun today, but I am. Liz, do you want to unmute yourself?
Okay. So my question is about the village map. And I noticed that when on the place that it shows colors for the neighborhoods, but I see on the map from New York, there are color overlays indicating the neighborhood, but ours doesn't have that, and I'm not sure where are the instructions to apply those overlays.
Yes, I'm going there. First, I want to show you one thing before I go there, and it's because now that I'm not an admin, I wanted to show you the view of the map, basically, of the village map. You see all these instructions, and then there are some things we cannot see as much. You see, so you can find all the members, you cannot find the volunteers because they didn't allow, basically. So just it's a subversion of village maps to active members, but they can still search for other people. You can search, where my mom is or something like that. I can find stuff like that. And now your question was about the overlay. So I need to do this. Give me a second, and I need to go get my rights again. Wait a minute. I know you don't see what I'm doing, but I'm giving myself rights.
Can you tell us what village maps costs while you're doing that?
I think it's there are two things. There is one thing that is geolocation, which is the possibility to convert the addresses, the mailing addresses, into latitude and longitude. So that is one premium feature that is necessary for maps, and that is $10 a month. And then the other one, there is the proper village maps thing, so it's another $10. So the total addition is $20 a month.
Thank you.
And then here, give me a second. So one, you roll, and then I think I can do this. You dot save. Let me see. Just refreshing the page. I'm an admin again. Yes. Yes. So we're talking about hub and spoke, the maps here. So you can go admin settings. You go miscellaneous, and miscellaneous, you can config local villages. And then for these local villages are these same neighborhoods you have here. So these are the neighborhoods for New York, in example, right? And you have Lower Manhattan, and then you click here, edit, and then you can choose the name of the thing, of the basically spoke or local village or neighborhood, and then the acronym. for short. And then here you have a palette of colors, and then you choose here, this is the overlay colors you use for the map. And then this one is going with orange, but then you can change either here with moving this around, or you want to go green and purple and all of these things, or just choose the RGB code if you want a specific color. And then just save, and that's it. Okay, and we have next question coming in from Kathy.
And wait. So how do you get that on the map?
Oh, yes, absolutely. So that
how do
you need to open up a ticket.
Boundaries on the map?
Yes, so you basically need to create a ticket. You cannot do it yourselves, but basically you need to find the latitude and longitude from each square. So which is something you can do maybe by drawing on a map or something.
Okay.
I don't have the specific. We should do a training document about that. But basically, we draw we draw it basically. But you just need to tell us what to draw. Basically the latitude and longitude, or we have done that in the past where someone just printed basically this kind of a Google Maps, and then they drew with a pen on it, right, from here to here to here to here, and then we just did it ourselves from whatever drawing you did, or if you explain us the boundaries. But basically, we just entering it is for us.
Okay.
Cool. Perfect. Thank you, Liz. And then Kathy, yes.
Mine is also a map sort of question.
Okay.
I have a member here in my office, and she was looking up another member.
Yes.
And her bio immediately appeared, but shouldn't the map also appear for that particular person?
Wait, so these two different things. Now I don't know. So first you have, repeat that. So you started from where? From the member directory?
Yes, and then she typed in a person's name.
Yes. Here.
So up in the search box.
Here, right? This one on the
right
right.
There. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you can search, and then you have it here.
Right.
And then you click on that one, and that opened the bio page because they were an active member. Yes.
Right. And
it's not showing the map.
Shouldn't a map appear?
No. So the map is something that you can activate separately here on this. So you don't have it here, but basically, it's you need to wait a minute. So I'll do it.
Could be something saying member map.
Yeah, actually, basically the thing is that you can ask us to activate. These are modules and modules. Modules that you can activate and deactivate. So if you want to have the village maps module visible here, you can open up a ticket and we will activate it so that it becomes available here on this list. It's not available here, but
it was over there under admin, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's admin. Yes, but under admin is for the admins to do it, right? And then if you want the members to access it, right, we need to put it here too. So you need to tell us if you want to have village maps. Well, by default, it's visible to admins, but then you need to tell us if you want it visible for admins and also for members.
Okay, and is there an extra fee for that?
No. I mean, for having village maps, yes, but then if you have village maps, you want to have them here and here is the same price. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Cool. Yes, and Nancy, Clayton Valley.
Sorry, I didn't know I was next. I have a basic question about emailing. I'm in charge. We like our volunteers we like to be sure that our volunteers' driver's license and insurance is up to date to keep our insurance costs down. So I have an email template that I send out to the volunteers and say, hey, your insurance is coming due. Let us know. Please email me or email the person that's in charge of volunteers. Unfortunately, they reply to the email from the village.
Yes.
Those replies are lost. How do I know where those, how can I change where those emails are going to?
Yes, so let me reproduce that. So I like it. So Christina, you can search any person here. What I think you're doing is that you find this person, this volunteer, and then you go to the profile, and then you go to activity here, and in the activity tab, you can come down here, and then you can send a message to this person, and from this message to this person, you have created a template. Dorothy, I'm speaking super fast. and slow down. I forget, but then sometimes I remember. So basically, you can choose a template that you did, right? That is saying, well, invite people to send the invitation to, I don't have it here on demo, but it's kind of, you can create any templates, inviting them to send their email, their insurance information to the office and stuff like that. And then from here, you have a beautiful template, just hit send and it goes out to them. Now, because it's an individual email that goes out to them, it goes out from this Helpful Village server. So it's going to go out from something that's called kind of Clayton Valley at a.helpfulvillage.com. When they reply to that message, you should be receiving it. And now my information is, where do you receive it? Is here. It's like settings. You go under admin settings, contact info. And under contact info, you have this here, notification recipient for Helpful Village. So this is the email addresses that Helpful Village is using to send out the messages. So basically, every time the Helpful Village system has a notification for the treasurer, because there is a notification about a missed payment or a donation or something, we're going to send it to these email addresses here, and you can choose what those email addresses are. When someone replies to the server, right, Nancy, of what you're saying, an email that was sent to the server, we're going to send that email to the admin email that you have. So we need to check two things. First, you didn't know where it was going, but we can test this, offline with the support and Anastasia. If you send an email back responding to the email that you said, and then it should be being sent here to the admin email. Yes.
Sent emails to that address.
Yes.
Nobody gets them. They're gone. So
okay,
that
then we
address,
need to...
that email address that's in there for our village is not correct.
Okay. Well, first you need to tell me if the email address is correct or wrong, right? If it's wrong, we need to change it. If it is correct, we need to check, because maybe it got, bounced or something like that, and then we need to reactivate it or something. So again, it's a kind of some sort of ticket we need to look at individually, right? So after the webinar, we can take this offline, just check if this email address you have here, if it is correct or not correct. And then we will test sending an email there. If you're not receiving it, we will check if it's in the bounce list, and then we need to clean up the bounce list so that you receive the proper emails. Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
Okay, so it's not something I can do myself.
Well, you can check if the email address you have here, if it's correct, and you can check if
I know that it's not the email address that we use for our village.
Well, then it is not correct. Then we need to change it. That's the first thing we need to do, is then you need to tell our team what is the email address you want for these admin emails. Yeah, this email address, you cannot even change it. It's so important that we make you basically contact us so that we update it for you.
Yes.
So yeah, first thing is so open up a ticket, urgently, and let us know what should be the admin email address we need to notify from the system, and we will change this for you with a great pleasure.
So, Manuel,
really need it. My service request was January, but I'm getting calls like from the mayor. I already sent that to you.
No, damn it. Okay, no, we'll take care of this. So Anastasia needs to take
we'll get to
good
it
note
sooner.
of this one. Yeah, and this one is urgent for sure.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, the next.
Related to this, same question on the same page.
Yes.
So I have I put in our membership chair's name under the membership manager, but none of the background checks are still all response, background clear, black background created, are all going to admin, and I thought they ought to go to membership.
Well, yeah, maybe not membership, but the thing is that in most cases, the background checks are being run for volunteers, so we're definitely not sending them to membership manager. I suppose we're sending them to admin by default, so that you can split them between members and volunteers after that. But I'm not surprised that we're not sending that to members, because most often the background checks are being run on volunteers. So I wouldn't. That either we're sending to volunteers or to admin. I don't know. The kind of volunteers manager email.
See, we met background everybody when they first joined. So
I like that idea. No, definitely. That's good. But it's just also when we receive the background check notification, it's like, where do we send it? I'm pretty sure we're not sending it to the membership manager, because in most cases it's for volunteers. So we would send it either to the volunteer manager or to the admin email.
I made an assumption. Thank you.
Yeah. Absolutely. One quick reminder also is that when you look at this, right, all these additional manager email addresses are optional. If you have someone filling out that role, if you leave this field empty here, basically the system is smart enough to know, well, if this is empty, we always default back to the admin email address. So you can have all of these empty, and then we will always send here. If there is a specific thing here that is added, we will use this email address instead of the admin email address. So yeah, so basically admin is a fallback for any other notification if this is empty for your village. Okay, next question is Dan.
Yeah, hi, Manuel. My question is about events. When
yes.
when a member looks at an event and they want to see the other registered participants,
yes,
they're just seeing a truncated list. They don't see everybody.
Yes, because I assume that, I'm not 100%, but I would be 99% sure that what we do is that when we go, let me find a person, let me find myself. And then we go here, and this is my member profile. And in my member profile, you come here and you have member. And in the membership tab, I have this checkbox here for each member, allowing them to opt in to be in the members directory or not. So basically, if they are not opted into the members directory, we're probably just assuming that they want to have more privacy and they don't want to be on the events participants list.
Okay, that explains that. Thank you.
Yeah, that's an advanced question. I like it. Christy, you're coming next. Strathmore Belpre.
Strathmore Belpre. I had a follow-up question for the emails, because right now we just have the admin email. Are those other membership and volunteers, is that something that we fill in ourselves, or do we have to tell you that?
No, the admin is, we're more touchy because we want to make sure that we have, nobody goes in there and messes up with this one. But all of this are editable, so you can log in and then change them. If you need to send the treasurer emails to a different email address, you can come here and fill this up yourself. You can also have several email addresses if you need to notify more than one person, and in that case, you just put one email address and then a comma and then the second email address.
Okay. Do I need to, if I'm sending it to, Christy at helpfulvillage.com, is there a way that I forward that to the person's regular Gmail account, for example?
Oh yeah, this can be anything. Yeah, so this we put here. Here this is a Gmail address. You see,
right?
So here it can be any regular email address. They don't even need to exist in the database. It's just an email address we're using to notify events that happen on Helpful Village. And by events, I mean things that happen. For example, if we received an application, volunteer application form, we're going to send it to the volunteer manager email. If we receive a membership application form, we're going to send it to this email address. If we receive a donation, we're going to send it to this email address. So it's just things that happen.
Will the members see who it's going to?
No.
They'll just see the email coming from info@SBP Village, and when they reply, they don't know that it's going to.
Yeah. No. Well, so typically, what we do with an application form, there is an email address that goes to the member, right, confirming that it was received the application form, and we send a separate email address to the membership manager email, letting him know that this other thing happened. So they are not in the same email. It's just the same event produces two different emails, and the members will not see this.
Right.
They will. So these email addresses remain private. Yeah, they're just known to the system to notify things.
And all these automated auto-generated emails are coming from Helpful Village server, not from MailChimp.
All of this is coming from Helpful Village, yes.
Okay.
And also, as another rule, is kind of an unrelated kind of question, but is kind of the same. Every time we send an email to a person, in this case, 2 people, that will come from the server. And if we're sending an email to a group of people, like the newsletter, that goes through MailChimp. But it's, in this case, just to one person, so it always goes from the Helpful Village server. Yes, for email address. Perfect. Okay, that was a great list of interesting questions. I don't know if we have one extra And if we don't have any other extra questions, not a problem, because we're reaching the top of the hour and we have a specific Q&A session next week on Wednesday at the same time as we did this week, fully dedicated to your questions. So the only thing we ask you is that you send your emails ahead of time to hvusers@helpfulvillage.com, and that allows us to, well, make sure that your questions get on the agenda. I also have one last thing to do. Is I wanted to thank you all for such a fun webinar. I actually needed to socialize via Zoom today and, you know, do a few jokes. My jokes were not very good, but it was a real pleasure to see you all here. And I'm excited to deploy this new version with this improvement. Thank you for not only being here today, but also for these improvements and making, you know, Helpful Village better with all these ideas and just modification that we do based on your ideas. So thank you, everybody. Have a great day and talk to you soon. See you next week. Bye-bye. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Bye. Have a good day.